Hey guys, it's been a while since I've done a life update, but a lot is going on. Um, I just got out of like 3 appointments. I had 3 appointments scheduled for today. One was the non stress test, which is a baby movement test. One was an appointment with my OB. Um, she's going to be seeing me once a week now, and one was an appointment with my social worker. And yesterday, I also got a visit from Loki, baby's father, and it went pretty well. Um, Started out really nice, got a little bit intense in the middle. He had a lot to express, and I had to stop him a few times to try to understand what he was trying to get across. And it ended on a good note, so I'm happy about that. Also had a friend stop by and drop off a rocker and some clothes. Yay! I've actually been really blessed with having friends who are willing to help me out with baby things. One of my good friends, Evan, got me this backpack, which it's a diaper bag backpack, but right now I'm using it for every day because she said that after the baby is grown a little bit that I could use it for every day as well, and it's a lot less stress than carrying a purse, so that's what I'm doing for now. And she also sent bibs, clothes, grooming kit, and everything. And so I am hopefully prepared. The play yard slash bassinet slash changing table is very large. It takes up quite a lot of space in the nursery, which, as you'll remember, is my master closet. Because the architecture for the renovation for our apartment sucks. Um, it's a very small walk-in closet, and I am probably going to have to rearrange a couple of things. Right now, I'm having a little bit of trouble reaching like some of my clothes, and then the baby has a little chest of drawers with his clothes in it. But unfortunately, it's a little difficult to open that chest when there's a play yard in the way, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to rearrange things. As far as the testing goes, everything is within normal range. Everything looks good. The only problem they have found with this baby is his heart condition, which is why I'm being seen at Stanford. And they have an excellent medical team, and I really want a pediatrician in the Stanford network, and I'm trying to figure out how to make that possible with my insurance. And until he's discharged, he will have a Stanford pediatrician. But then after that, and he's still going to be seen for specialty, like for his heart, for the rest of his life at Stanford, and that's going to be covered under our insurance. As far as a pediatrician after he's discharged, after he gets to go home, I'm gonna have to kind of figure that out a little bit. It was very stressful yesterday. I called the pediatric network closest to where I live, and they said that they don't take the particular plan that I'm on, and that I would have to call my insurance. So I called my insurance, and I got someone very unhelpful who sounded like he just kind of walked in off the street, and by the street I mean he did not sound interested in being professional. He sounded interested in giving me a spiel and being argumentative, so, probably new, probably not a lot of training. And I called back a couple of times until I got someone who was willing to answer my question, which was, how is it that I'm being able to be seen and my insurance is covering it, but my baby can't have a pediatrician um, at the same, hospital? And the answer is because what I'm being seen for is specialty, and what baby would be being seen for would be mostly primary care. So that was a good answer, and I was told that an option that I have is to just ask, do you take Medi-Cal at all? And if so, what plans? And then get my baby on one of those plans. And I also talked to my social worker here, who has some ideas on how to assist me with that. So that is a godsend, honestly. The most daunting thing that I have been dealing with, is actually not trying to find a pediatrician, although I haven't found one yet, and I was kind of told not to worry too much about it. Um, but the most daunting thing is the idea of doing this as a single mother without any assistance, without any support. So it turns out that Loki and I had a few miscommunications a few months back, and we had both kind of misinterpreted where the other was coming from. We were able to clear up a lot of that yesterday. It was a very productive conversation, and basically we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see where things go, and I'm not gonna share too much about it because we don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't want to say one thing and then something else happens. But it pretty much seems like there's no good reason we shouldn't be able to work together, since both of us are interested in the same thing. We both want to have a happy, healthy child, and we're both aware of some parts of our upbringing that we would rather our child not deal with in his own upbringing. So we are being mindful of that. I don't want to be mean, or anything, because I know that parents, for the most part, do their best. And while everybody makes mistakes, I would like for us to make our own unique mistakes and not repeat some of the mistakes that were made with us. And I would like for whatever mistakes that we make to be a lot less impactful, I suppose. And one thing I noticed when we were talking is that each of us trusts ourselves to a degree a little bit more than we trust each other. And for me, I don't know how I'm going to be as a parent until I'm actually holding the baby. Okay, because I have never really been around babies before, except, on the bus or at restaurants and stuff, when I'm just I did hang out with my little cousins when I was in Arkansas in 2012, the youngest of whom was, I think, 2 years old, and the oldest of whom was 4, or 7, I'm sorry, they were 2, 4, and 7, and I got along really well with them, but their mother was my cousin. So that was a little bit different, and I was more I was an adult at the time, but I was more like the kind of fun teenager in an adult body kind of person to them, and I was a visiting cousin. Loki, meanwhile, has been around babies, knows that he's good with them, and I'm I am really, really hoping that he's able to help out with helping me adjust to being a parent and helping me adjust to being around a baby because this is new for me. I don't know how much I've shared about my medical history, but this is pretty much the healthiest I've been in my entire adult life. I have a history of lung problems. I've had bronchitis and walking pneumonia and other regular pneumonia, you know. Thankfully, did not get the coronavirus. Um, and I've had heart problems as an adult a few times. And I've had multiple miscarriages. And this is the first. Oh yeah, this is the first baby that's lasted past the first trimester, and there are times it just feels so surreal. I have never thought of myself as a parent, but there are other times when I'm like, I would protect this child absolutely with my life, you know, and I've been doing everything I can to prepare, you know, both in terms of material things and prepare myself for this change in lifestyle that's going to occur. I don't really feel anything regarding, you know, giving up hobbies or stuff. I've heard parents who are like, oh, I haven't been able to perform this hobby in 20 years because I had kids. And I'm like, you know, kids are interested in that kind of thing, right? And so I didn't want to be that kind of parent. I don't know how protective I'm going to be of like my paints and my guitar and my keyboard and all of that. But I do know that happy, healthy child is the most important thing. Um, although I do think I'm going to keep my sixth string kind of locked up for a while. Keyboard's a little bit harder to damage. Paints, I've already locked up the acrylics. So, you know, he gets watercolors and poster paint. That's what he gets. So you can play with those. I know I don't actually have to worry about toddler proofing until he's mobile, you know, but doesn't hurt to be prepared. So I've been trying pretty hard to prepare, and I've been saving up as much as I can. I've bought very little for myself. I know that you can tell my hair is pinkish. I had already had purple dye like from way back before I conceived. And then during, you know, March or April, I got bored and just decided to add it into my hair, like away from the roots, obviously. So yeah, none of the dye touched my actual scalp or my head, you know. So don't worry about me dyeing my hair while pregnant. I I have not engaged in anything that's high risk. I've not done anything that would put him in any danger. I've been very, very careful about even caffeine consumption. I have this energy drink mix at work that I use to get through the workday, and I have not been using that. I just like, you know, power through it. I've been mobile enough to go to work once a week for, let's see, starting actually last week, I was able to go to work one day, and then this week I was able to go Monday, and then they want me in on Friday. And I updated my boss that I'm going to be induced July 2nd or 3rd, and she's like, can you come in on Friday? And I'm like, I can. I'm not sure if I want to, but I can. To be honest, I really like working from home. I know it's been taking me a little bit longer than I would like to get around to finishing my transcriptions because I'm very tired and unmotivated to get out of bed. And when I'm not sleeping, I have doctor's appointments. But I also like the atmosphere of the office, and everybody was happy to have me back. And that is not something I'm accustomed to. I was really grateful to be asked back to work. But I did make it clear that when I'm induced, the day that I'm supposed to be induced, I am on maternity leave. I will be maternity leaving, and I will, probably work from home once I've recovered to a degree. But don't expect me in the office until like the baby is weaned. And I'm hoping that's gonna be I'm hoping he's gonna be fairly easy, and I'm hoping that he's gonna transition to solid foods and not really need breast milk for like a super long time. But of course, everyone has different needs. But I really love work, and I really love being useful, being valued, and I understand intellectually that having a baby is going to change pretty much everything. Emotionally, I'm just kind of, this is happening. Yep. Just kind of accepting what's going on and kind of watching, observing what's going on. So, we'll see how everything goes. I want to remain optimistic, and I want things to turn out well, and I want to be in a good space. So, hopefully that'll happen. So, thank you for bearing with me, and cheers.